Hey guys, it's Sid and I am back. I am better than ever because I got a new camera.
Hooray!
Yay! So I am so excited. I actually started wanting to make videos again a while back, but I wanted to wait until I got this camera because it's better quality than the one that I had before. And so now it is finally here. It took forever, but it's finally here and I am going to start making videos again. And so the first thing that I wanted to start with was just a little update because obviously everything's been really crazy. And so I wanted to kind of update about like me and Bennett as far as COVID-19 goes and the quarantine and what that's kind of looked like for us. And then start into like other and new videos. But I felt like I wanted to do this one first, just like I said, as like an update. So as far as COVID-19, I live in Louisiana, and so Louisiana started the stay-at-home order, I think like the middle of March. And then today is May 13th, and Friday, May 15th, is when we're starting back. I think it's like phase 1 where restaurants and businesses can start opening back up, but I think most places have to be like 25% capacity. Some people have to wear like gloves and or masks, stuff like that. I know there's like precautions that are being put into place, which honestly I don't know exactly how that's gonna go. I know that there are a lot of like precautions being promised to be put in place and are supposed to be put into place that aren't necessarily happening. So I guess we'll see how that goes. Hopefully everything will go smoothly and people will stay safe and healthy. But yeah, so that's kind of where LA is at right now, and I hope that wherever you are at and whatever state you're at or in, I hope that everything's going well and y'all are staying healthy and safe as well. But yeah, so that is kind of what it's looked like for us as far as like the government and whatnot. But for us personally, as far as work, I actually work in the office for kind of like an environmental cleanup company, and so I was lucky enough that when the stay-at-home order was put into place, I was able to bring my computer home, and I've been working from home ever since, which is something that I've been really lucky to do and I'm really grateful for. We have not necessarily, it's not like they cut our hours, but we do have some sites out in the field that have been shut down, and so what I do is I'm a biller, and so I take all of the charges from the sites and I put them into one pretty little package and I send them off to the client so that they will then pay the invoice, and that's what it's called, an invoice, and so then they pay it and we get paid. But since there haven't been as many charges to put together and invoices to send out, I have been working less, but it's kind of just like whatever time you can get, if that makes sense. It's not like I'm working like half days or anything like that specifically. It's just kind of like do the best you can to find the work that you can find to do. So that is what I've been doing. Bennett Solomon has been going to the same place that he has been going to, like, or was going to before the whole quarantine thing happened. He has been going to the same in-home daycare since he was about 10 months old, and when all of this started, all of the other parents pulled their kids. So I decided that it was best for everyone involved to still continue to take him to her, because it was just her and him, and so I felt comfortable with it. And as far as me getting work done when he was here, because like of course in an ideal world I would have kept him at home, but he is a really big mama's boy and has been going through a phase that I think a lot of kids go through, where it's just like he is very clingy and very needy, and so I just felt like it was the best decision to continue taking him, and that's what I've been doing. I think he's really enjoyed the one-on-one time with her, and so I think it kind of worked out for everybody best that way, and so that is what he's been doing. He obviously wouldn't have been old enough to understand regardless, but I don't think he even has any clue that anything's different, because his routine is still pretty much the same as it was before, which I like and feel comfortable with, because he you know, I like having that stability and like that consistency for him. So I think that's been really good. As far as my family, my dad also is able to work from home, which has been really good. My brother unfortunately lost his job because of COVID, but he has been doing DoorDash for the past couple weeks, which, you know, isn't really like a long-term solution, of course, but like has been really good for him and has brought in a little bit more money for him. So I think that's been really good in his case. And then my mom is actually a nurse, and so she has still been going in. She worked doing outpatient surgeries that were deemed like non-essential, and so for a long time non-essential surgeries were not happening, and so she was actually working with ER nurses that were working with people with COVID. So she didn't interact directly with anyone that had COVID, but she did interact like she had like, what is it called? Like it would be like second-hand exposure or something like that. But she actually, because she's a nurse, she was tested she had like the antibody test, which is just them taking your blood to see if you have antibodies that your body produces when you get COVID to fight COVID, and she tested negative, which I know that positive results are pretty accurate. I don't know that negative results are as accurate as positive results, so it's possible that she hasn't had it. It's also possible that she has had it but tested falsely negative, or like tested negative but just doesn't have the antibodies anymore. They're still not 100% on those tests, but it was interesting to see that she hadn't had it, or didn't. It was interesting to see that she didn't have antibodies. So she did have that test done, which was cool. But yeah, so she's been working on that, and they have started allowing non-essential surgeries again, and so she is back where she was before and is not in direct contact with people with confirmed COVID cases. So that's been good. That's pretty much it for work though. As far as life in general, like I said, I'm still working. I still of course have Bennett, and then pretty much everything has been the same but just like modified, I feel like. So I'm still like hanging out with friends, but instead of it being outside of the house, it's now over FaceTime. Instead of going to church, I have been watching it online, and so I feel like I've been kind of keeping to the same routine that I was before. It's just that things are of course a little bit different, and so yeah, so that is pretty much it for that. I wanted to share like kind of some negative things that have happened since quarantine started, and then also some positive things, because I think most of us can probably find some kind of silver lining to everything that's been happening. And so some negative things that have been happening is that I had actually a couple of different trips that were planned that I was really excited about. The first one, I honestly, ever since Universal opened Harry Potter World a while back, it has been like on the top of my bucket list to go. I have wanted to go so bad. I've heard so many good things about it, and was really excited to go. And so we had a trip planned where over like a long weekend we were going to go and stay with my grandparents who live like an hour away from Universal, and spend some time with them, and then go to Universal for like a whole day, and we were going to try and do all the stuff, and I was super, super excited, and decided to cancel it. I can't remember, so this was earlier on, and so I can't remember if Universal was open or not at the time that we were supposed to go, but we just decided it wasn't worth the risk to like go and spend time with my grandparents and then possibly be exposed to COVID and possibly give it to them. Like, it just was totally not worth it, and so we decided to postpone that to some kind of later date. I also, a couple weeks after that, was supposed to go to Ohio, and because that's where I'm originally from, and so I was going to take Bennett, and we were going to go and surprise some friends there and spend the weekend with them, and that also didn't work out. And then the last one, which I was super excited about, was that I was going to take Bennett and we were going to go to France this summer, and have decided not to do that because it's just not worth the risk. And so all three of those trips, of course, have been canceled, and so that was kind of, you know, of course it was like disappointing and sad, and took like a little bit of time to process, but at the same time, like, so many people have been so negatively affected by this in like ways that will change their lives forever. You know what I mean? And I have not, you know, those trips that I was planning can happen some other time. I can replan them. Like that's like so minuscule compared to what some people have experienced and dealt with and had to process. And so I definitely count myself lucky. Like I'm disappointed, but it could have been so much worse, and so I'm really, really grateful for that. And then some good things. I, like pretty much everyone during this quarantine, have been trying to try new things and expand myself a little bit, and so I have been starting to exercise more, which I think is a pretty common thing for people to do during all of this, but I have started doing like YouTube workout videos about every other day. I try to do one, and so that has been fun. And then I also have been doing Couch to 5K with my mom. We've been getting up and we've been running like 2 to 3, I think it's like 3 times a week, which has also been really fun. I hate pretty much every second of the actual exercise, but then when you're done, you literally feel so good. And I've never been an exerciser. I've always hated to exercise, and so it's actually been really good that I've been staying consistent with this, and that's something that I've been having fun with. And I've also started reading again, which is pretty cool. I haven't read a lot since I was a kid, but I've started again, and that's been really exciting. My friend brought over a ton of books that she really enjoyed and wanted me to read, and so right now I'm currently on Brave New World, and it's pretty good. And yeah, so that's kind of how I've been spending my quarantine. Some, you know, good things, some bad things. Overall, I honestly do not have that much to complain about, and I've been really lucky. But yeah, so I think that's pretty much all that I have to share in this video. Thank you for watching. I hope that y'all and your family and your friends and your loved ones have been staying safe and have been staying healthy. And I will see you guys in the next video. Bye.